Carolina on the ride. Carolina on the ride.
Welcome, Panther Nation. Bill Mack here with another edition of the Panther Prowl. Glad you folks will join me again, folks. I'm very happy as our beloved Panthers, of course, notched another win and drew one step closer to the playoffs. Of course, we had those pesky, Green Bay Packers against taking on our Panthers coming into Bank of America Stadium, but we were able to handle them good. Let's get right into the results of the game. Of course, the Green Bay Packers, with their loss, fall to 7-7. They're 3-4 away. Our Panthers go with the win, go up to 10-4 and 5-2 at home, and they end up winning 31-24. Newton was 20 of 31. He had 242 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 1 sack. C-Mac, of course, led all rushers with 12 carries, 63 yards. Olsen, of course, led all receivers. He had 9 catches, 116 yards, a touchdown. And Christian McCaffrey, again, the receiving, had 6 catches, 73 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Damiere Byrd sighting, 3 catches, 25 yards, 2 touchdowns. So looks like our Panthers threw offensively, Cam through the air. The run, it seems like we're doing good when we're needing to pass, we pass. When we're needing to run, we'll run. When one don't carry us, the other one will. Imagine if we can get both to combine together, the passing and rushing together. But needless to say, a win is a win against Green Bay. Of course, Rodgers' comeback, like I said, he had been gone for a few weeks with a broken right collarbone. He did look rusty in this game. Rodgers was 26 of 45, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 picks, and along with being sacked 3 times. Of course, Jones, leading back, had 3 carries, 47 yards. Randall Cobb, leading receiver, 7 catches, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Also, Rodgers, the receiver, had 4 catches, 77 yards, 1 TD, and Davante Adams, 5 catches, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. So we see Davante Adams, which is the leading receiver, did go out early in the game. Thomas Davis did a blindside hit on Davante Adams, and he left out the game early. Was not a fact, did not come back in, and we could see that it really affected Aaron's options as the game went on. Of course, defensively, Kurt Coleman had 10 tackles, 6 solo. Thomas Davis had 4 tackles, 1 solo. Mario Addison had 3 tackles, 2 solos, and each both Thomas and Super Mario had half sack each. Also with half a sack, Peppers, Startulele had each 2 tackles and a half a sack each, and Wes Horton, of course, 1 tackle, 1 solo, and 1 sack, counting up to the 3 sacks that we had. So our defense applied the pressure, which is what we needed to have. For the other side, Joe Thomas had 9 tackles, 4 solo for Green Bay. Brandon Martinez had 8 tackles, 4 solo. Clark had 8 tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack. So we see we did what we needed to have. Special teams, Gano was 1-for-1 field goals, 4 for 4 extra points, and Crosby had 1-for-1 field goals and 3 for 3 extra points. So needless to say, it was what we needed to have, and I was just glad to see what our boys did. And pause just a second, and I'll come back with the yards for you. So just 1 second. I'll be right back. And as we see going into the Panthers yardage, the Panthers, of course, led in total yardage today, 387 yards to 384 yards. Green Bay led in turnovers, and Carolina, of course, led in time of possession, 33 minutes, 57 seconds to 26 minutes and 3 seconds. So we see the Panthers controlled. They did the very keys in which I stated in my review video. I know that Aaron wasn't at all 100%. I know that he was rusty, But anytime we can force him, Aaron Rodgers to throw 3 interceptions in a game, we can. We didn't give up too many big plays. I was very proud of Worley and Bradbury. Of course, with their statistics, Bradbury and Worley and Colin Jones, all three had interceptions for the Panthers defense. So I was really proud to see the defense stepping up in this game, and they contained Rodgers throughout. Rodgers a few times scrambled, got some first downs, got some yardage, but he wasn't able to scramble and make a lot of downfield plays. Bradbury, other than Worley getting a couple of penalties near the end of the game when it came to the passing, I was really proud of our secondary and not giving Jordy Nelson a lot to go after. Like I said, with Devontae Adams out, Randall Cobb, had a decent game, but he didn't have an overwhelming game. Very proud of our Panthers defense. I was really proud of the effort they showed to get the pressure on Aaron, Peppers. And like I said, you had 4 or 5 contribute on 3 sacks. I mean, the pressure was there. I'm really proud of them getting McCaffrey involved. Like I said, McCaffrey had a lot doing with scoring. He had 12 carries for 63 yards, and he had 6 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown. So over 100, I said about 136 is what I'm seeing in all-purpose yards. You can't beat that. He's an integral part of it. He didn't have to have a big rushing game, but to know that he basically contributed, got touchdown, got over 100 plus all-purpose yards, and went to him quite often. I was glad to see it. Olsen had a monster game. Like I said, I was not expecting that. I know last week he didn't have it, but he had 1 target but didn't have a catch. And I was kind of suspecting whether they were gonna try to go to him much. Funches didn't have a very good game. He only had 1 catch, I think 19 yards. That was all he had, which he was on my fantasy, which I kind of hated that I didn't get too much out of him for fantasy. Olsen I didn't start on my fantasy league. Didn't know if he was going to do well, but very proud of my Panthers team. Very glad to see Cam getting some momentum. Like I said, New Orleans. Last time I looked, they were leading the Jets or winning the Jets. They probably beat the Jets by now, but they both are now. The Panthers and the Saints are still at 10-4. All we can hope for is Atlanta beats New Orleans and we win out. We got the game against New Orleans and we got the game against Atlanta. Both division games. Only thing we can hope for is that Atlanta go and defeat Tampa Bay. Atlanta defeat New Orleans, where we can actually go and get a division win or win a division, or as long as we get a wild card seed, I'm fine with that. Like I said, our teams are doing well. I was glad to see, other than that blindside hit that Davis did, I thought our team done really well. Cam carrying the ball, McCaffrey carrying the ball, Jay Stu contributing what he could, to see our secondary making the plays that they made, getting pressure on Rodgers for him to throw and to be off target. I was really proud to see that 3 interceptions. You can still see he was down, but hey, a win's a win. We had losses too when Cam was still coming off of his surgery. So really can't place no sympathy there. We went through it all ourselves. I imagine a lot of other teams have experienced the same thing as well. But just a glad overall picture of our Panthers winning. I'm so glad that they were able to go and defeat Green Bay. You couldn't ask for a better game. And I was worried at one point because near the end of the game they had allowed with 2 minutes plus for Green Bay to score. Then Green Bay recovered an onside kick, which McCaffrey wasn't able to handle because it didn't bounce. It just kind of swiveled like straight. So, needless to say, Panthers wins. The Panthers win. I'll take another 10-win season for us. I chalk that up. Continue tied for first place in the division, and look forward to our next game. So, hope you folks enjoyed the video, Panther Nation. Let's celebrate this win that we've got this week against Green Bay Packers, and on to the next couple of games that we have to finish out the season and more than likely making it to the playoffs. So, if you like this video, drop a like, give me a thumbs up. Just share my video with others if you can. Also, I want you to subscribe to my channel if you're not, as I deliver you all the Panther content that I possibly can, and I look forward to it. So, until the preview of the next upcoming game, enjoy this video, and until next time, this is Bill Mack for Panther Prowl saying, keep pounding.
Yeah.